Next up, we have clean power field lens number 9. Urgency is often a control move. So we've touched on this in our first video, and we're going to dive in a little bit deeper. So I love this quote. Urgency is the favorite costume of dirty power. I have so much fun typing this stuff up beforehand. I love words. Okay, so the favorite costume of dirty power. And it's like really shitty cosplay. Guys, urgency theater. It's so bad. Act now or you'll never be able to do this thing again. That is dirty power. If you really are solid in yourself, solid if from a business perspective, solid in your offer, solid in your interpersonal relating, you're going to move slowly. You're going to be solid in you. And other people will orbit around you instead of you having dirty power trying to pull people into you in an extracting way. Okay, so here's an explanation. Urgency sometimes, yes, totally can be real, but most urgency is anxiety trying to force a timeline. In this case, the urgency is used to trying to force people into limiting their pool of choices into a binary yes or no, shaming the no, and then making the yes feel like the only available option that is like viable. This is dirty power, okay? True choice making in an urgent state is actually very clean and calm. It's like swerving very hard right to avoid a car. If there's not some sort of like imminent threat of danger or death, like actually you have time to make a calm, cool decision. Dirty power will often use urgency, again, to bypass consent, nuance, and repair. Don't think about this. Don't worry about it. Just act now, because those people are trying to basically force you. Businesses do this all the time, but people also do it from a marketing strategy. Go out with me, or like trying to nag them, like, oh, you'll never find a guy like me again. What a shitty thing to say. Like, sure, they won't ever find a person like you, but if they're not in a good place to be in a relationship, you say you have to date me now, or you're gonna miss this opportunity. Maybe that's true. Maybe that is real urgency, but that's from an extracting place, and that is not clean power. Clean power can move fast without becoming coercive. So you're not trying to manipulate. You can persuade. I'm single now. You're single now. This may be the only opportunity we have to explore this relationship. Okay, that sounds like an event versus a vector, as I've discussed in previous videos, because a true vectored relationship, if you really think that person is cool enough to be in a long-term relationship with, maybe you just fucking chill out for a little bit, give them some space. If they need to heal, maybe they just recently got out of a relationship, they've been with someone for a while and they're just healing. Okay, cool. Well, doesn't mean you should, put your entire life on hold, but this sense of urgency and coercion, that's not clean power. That's dirty power. Okay, here's the field tell. If urgency spikes when someone asks a clarifying question, that's a tell. So if someone says, hey, what's the details on that APR? Oh, well, the APR is 16%, but if you act now, it's gonna be down. Okay, well, like I get it, but it kind of just sounds like you're trying to make me like force a decision right now. Okay, litmus test to find out if you are in one of these situations for yourself. If you slow down 10%, does the plan collapse? Oftentimes when people say you have to act now, 10% of like negative 10% of now means the whole thing collapses. Probably it's not like it's urgency theater, right? Let's say you're in a situation and you're having to deal with uncertainty, and that uncertainty feels very bad, and you have to slow down. Does that produce anxiety in you? Maybe you are actually creating the urgency in this case. And if you slow down, if that brings up anxiety in you, that is then a field tell for you to know that you are having urgency within yourself and that you are having a not really a super healthy relationship with power. I've been in this situation in the past. I have protocols for this. I don't like uncertainty. I like certainty. It's why I'm very excited about getting married someday and being able to know this is my long-term committed partner. I want certainty in that relationship. So when I give and receive resources with, to and from them, love being a resource that I want to give copiously, I want to know that that's an investment over time, that I'm not just, kind of throwing that away. Same with my body, that I'm gifting myself to them. And the same person, I want it to mean something and not be, not be for nothing, and not be an investment that doesn't have legs. And so if there's a situation with a person where we're still trying to kind of feel each other out, even just in dialogue, we're getting tea or whatever, if I slow down 10% and I get anxiety, that's a me thing, right? And so I work with this with clients a lot. Okay, find the part of yourself, find that in your body. Where is that anxiety coming from? Where do you feel it? And there's an entire protocol within internal family systems where we can deal with that and not just deal with it, but really heal those wounded parts. So what truth would I have to face if I waited? So let's use the example of dating someone. If say, you know what, I need a week just to kind of sit with my thoughts. What truth do you need to sit with yourself that you're lonely, that you're not excited looking around with other potential opportunities, that maybe the relationship doesn't work out and you've over-invested yourself already. Maybe I don't do this, or if I do it, I don't resent it. Maybe you've spent money on this person, taking them out to a nice dinner. Like, oh, I spent this money on them. Okay, well, then that's not a gift. You're then being extractive. You then want something, right? That's not healthy. So what truth do you have to face if you have to wait? Waiting is not a bad thing. It's okay. Slow down, really be solid in yourself. And again, there are protocols. There's several meditations that we've already recorded videos on you can go check out. Here's an experiment for yourself. Okay, I'd like to do this, and I mentioned this in a previous video in this series. Add a 24-hour, no binding decisions rule for one domain of your life. So I did it for even working with this studio. It's a fantastic studio. And I was like, wanted to sign contract right away. I was like, you know what? I'm going to just give it some space. I'm going to sleep on it. I learned that from a mentor of mine, and it's proven to be very, very, very helpful. Also, to know the other person that you're working with. How do they take that? Right? Does that produce anxiety inside of them? Right? It's like if going on a date with someone, you're like, hey, when can I see you again next? Oh, I really look forward to be like, yeah, I really love this date. I'd like to go out with you again. Let me get back to you. And people, if they freak out, like, no, I really want to schedule it right now. I just said I'd like to do that, but I would like to think about it. How did they react? And so this 24-hour, no binding decision metric can be very, very helpful. This helps you use time to clarify what's true for you, what's true for them, and what is the consent there. Also, what is the potential cost? I have found in the past that if you keep making fast decisions that you regret, it then is time to look at your decision-making matrix. We talk about this a lot in my group coaching programs, my one-on-one programs for the Stone Protocol. And so if you're curious about learning more, send me a message and we can explore how you can potentially slow down a little bit, reflect on some of the anxiety, or understand when other people are using anxiety theater and scarcity theater and urgency to force you to make a decision that you may not want to make.